Welcome to video tutorial number 3, line spacing. If you haven't already done so, please use video tutorial number 1, which shows you how to properly use the chapter template. In this particular video, I'm going to show you how to set the line spacing for the entire chapter to be in single line spacing. So what we're going to have you do is use the Select All option, and on the Home tab there's a section called Paragraph, and you can either use the down arrow or in the highlighted area of your chapter, which the entire thing should be highlighted, right click and choose Paragraph. In the box that pops up, there's an area down here about halfway down that says Spacing. You're going to set your line spacing to single. In the before and after areas of that same box, hit the up arrow once to say 0 point. Hit the up arrow once at after to say 0 point. Or if yours says something other than this, you may simply type in 0 and the PT. The box next to Don't Add Space Between Paragraphs of the same style should not have a check mark next to it. And while we're on this particular pop-up box, go ahead and check on tabs, and we want to make sure that the tabs are set to 0.5 centimeters, and simply click OK. I'm going to check that paragraph setting one more time. Single, 0 and 0. The box is not checked, and I'm going to hit OK. Okay, next we'll talk about where blank line spaces should be. There should be one 10-point blank line space between the title of your chapter and your name, one blank 10-point line space between your name and the word abstract. Below the abstract, just before the keywords, you should have a single blank line space, 10 point. Just below the keywords, between keyword section and the asterisks, should be one blank 10-point line space. Between the asterisks and the first word of your text body should be a blank 10-point line space. Before and after all offset quotes, there should be one blank 10-point line space. Same here. And if you use different section headings in your chapter in the text body area, there should be one blank 10-point line space between the ending of one section and the beginning of, the title of the next section. If you use a subheading just below a subheading, there is no blank line space. There should be a blank line space below the text and the beginning of the next subheading. If you use bulleted points, they too should be offset and have a 10-point line space above and below. If you use tables in your chapter, there should be one blank line space below the last line of text and the table caption. There should be a one blank 10-point line space between the caption and the actual table. And below the table should be one blank 10-point space. If you've used images in your chapter, there should be one blank line space between the end of the text and the actual image. The caption of images and figures go below the actual image or figure. So below the image itself should be one blank 10-point line space and then your caption. And then if your image sits farther up in the text and you've captioned it, there should be a blank 10-point line space below the caption as well. There should be one 10-point line space between the end of your text body and the word notes. The same thing that happened with fonts and font sizes in that video tutorial holds true for this as well. When you use the Select All feature, the Select All will not capture the notes and bibliography sections. So you will want to highlight all of the notes and all of the bibliography entries and your bio. Choose Write Space and Paragraph settings, and also set this to single line spacing, 0 points before and 0 points after. This line space between the word notes and the beginning of your actual notes itself cannot be changed. Not easily, I should say. It can be done, and we will go over that in another video tutorial. I believe it's tutorial number 6 that talks about inserting notes into your text area. The notes themselves should be single line space with no blank space in between them. There should be one blank line space below the last note and the word bibliography. There should be one blank 10-point space below the word bibliography and your first bibliography entry. And each bibliography entry, although single line spaced, will also have a blank line in between each entry. Below your last bibliography entry and right before your bio should be one 10-point blank line space. The last thing we'll look at is the headers. Double click on a header to open it up, and we're going to highlight both the title and the underline. Right click and choose Paragraph. Your line spacing in your headers, both even and odd pages, should be set to 1.5 lines with 0 point above, 0 point below. The same holds true for the odd number pages, which is where your name will appear. If you'll highlight it all, right click and choose Paragraph, you'll see that the line spacing should be set to 1.5 lines, 0 before and 0 after. The actual page number will be sitting inside of the equivalent to a text box, and you don't have to worry about the line spacing on this. This should already be set. And that concludes this video tutorial number 3 on line spacing. In the next video tutorial, we're going to take a closer look at the abstract and the keyword sections and how to make sure that all the information there is properly formatted.